Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for coming out this evening. I'll be acting on behalf of Mayor Howard this afternoon or this evening. He's a little under the weather, so I'm sure his thoughts will be, if you want to send good thoughts, we'd appreciate it. With that, Mr. Storm, would you call the roll, please?
Ms. Least.
Here.
Mrs. Sweet.
Here.
Mr. Bear.
Here.
Mr. Whitaker.
Here.
Mr. Avery. Mr. Hannah.
Here. We do have enough members of council present to have a quorum, and we'll call the meeting to order with the Pledge of Allegiance, if you'll join me. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Do we have any additions to our agenda for this evening?
I'll make a motion to excuse Mr. Avery from
Thank you.
the evening.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Mr. Storm?
Mrs. Sweet.
Yes.
Mr. Bear.
Yes.
Mr. Whitaker.
Yes.
Mr. Hannah.
Yes.
Ms. Least.
Yes.
Okay. With that, I'd ask you to look over our minutes from our regular meeting on Tuesday, March 25th. If they meet your approval, I'd move for a motion and a second.
I'll move that we accept the minutes as presented.
Second.
Okay. All right, Mr. Storm?
Mr. Bear.
Yes.
Mr. Whitaker.
Yes.
Mr. Hannah.
Yes.
Ms. Least.
Yes.
Mrs. Sweet.
Yes.
All righty, thank you. Mr. Storm, the financials, if you're willing?
Yes, the financials, reports, and statements and bank reconciliation for the month of March have been distributed to everyone. Highlights from last month are that we did receive our first half real estate tax settlement, which we discussed last week, but they are posted. We did have some bigger, for us at least, ticket items that we paid for in the month of March. We had almost $51,000 for the playground equipment, $21,000 to Hoskins for the wastewater treatment plant project, $15,000 to Columbia Gas to extend a gas line down there, and $11K to Ferguson for hydrant parts. So we ate into what we got a little bit, but those are some of the bigger ticket items that we had planned for this year. So, and we will get some reimbursement back for the playground equipment, and that money, when we do receive it, will be receipted into the park donation fund.
Great, great.
So our balances as of March 31 are in the general fund, $281,965.08. In the streets, $24,015.15. We still are negative $65,000 in that federal grant, but because we have received the real estate tax settlement, I'll be making that $15,000 transfer this month. Nothing left in the ARPA funds. Police levy fund, $207,982.15, and in water, $367,068.37. Total funds, $935,966.74.
That 20 cents on the ARPA funds, is that going to cause you any grief?
No.
Okay. Okay.
And we will close out those ARPA funds this month. This is the month when we have to do that reporting. So
Okay.
there's nothing in there now, but we will finalize our reporting by the end of the month. That just opened last Friday.
All right. Do we entertain a motion to approve the financials?
So moved.
Second?
I'll second.
Mr. Storm?
Mr. Whitaker.
Yes.
Mr. Hannah.
Yes.
Ms. Least.
Yes.
Mrs. Sweet.
Yes.
Mr. Bear.
Yes.
Okay. We have no presentations this evening. Communications, just a real quick reminder before we get to the committee reports. We are having a public safety meeting prior to our next meeting on March 25th. So,
April 25th.
what is it? 6 o'clock here at the Government Center. So, normally we talk about personnel, equipment. Perhaps this time we'll be looking at some of the bond issue too. But just to try to reach out. We've not did one of those in quite a while. Okay, and for the staff reports, Mr. Seifert.
Thank you, Mr. Hannah. Council, residents. First item on my agenda is the Mayor's Court report for the month of March. We had, let's see here, 4 traffic cases. Current month, funds received $1,716.75. Year-to-date, $6,109.75. Total remitted to the state, $157.50. Year-to-date, $580. Total remitted to the village for the current month, $1,551.75. Year-to-date, $5,508.75. Total disbursed, or total remitted to the village. Nope, I just said that, sorry. Total disbursed, $1,716.75. Year-to-date, $6,109.75.
I'll move that we accept the mayor's court report as presented.
Second.
Second. I do have a question, Kev.
Okay.
So 2024 cases this month, the traffic, we had 18 traffic, but 2025 cases this month, we have 4. Do we know of anything that's causing that big number gap?
I have
Better driving.
Is it better driving or?
I think that about this time last year was when we hired an additional officer. And
Okay.
that was, it moved those numbers up quite a bit if memory serves.
Okay,
We, in terms of receipts, I can't speak to cases, but in terms of receipts, we were about double in 24 what we were in 23.
and where are we at 25?
I only track the totals, Cindy, I'm sorry, but
You shouldn't have asked, you shouldn't have said that. You knew where I was gonna go, Rob.
we're tracking at about 80% of what we did last year,
Okay,
75. To date, we've got 6109. Last year, we were at 8142.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
the 2 officers were very active
Okay.
this time last year.
okay,
There's also been a lot of cases sent to municipal court
okay, all right.
for cases that can't be heard.
That
in
can't be
mayor's
heard
court.
here?
Mhm.
Okay,
Okay,
that makes sense, okay.
we need to vote on that, Kevin, or Rob.
Mr. Hannah,
Yes.
Ms. Least,
Yes,
Mrs. Sweet,
Yes.
Mr. Bear,
Yes.
Mr. Whitaker.
Yes.
thank you,
Okay.
Kevin.
Next is I have a emergency resolution to authorize to enter into the salt contract, ODOT salt contract for 2025. I upped that back up to 100 tons, seeing how much we use this year. So, and last year we paid $67.55 a ton. So we won't know what we'll be paying this year until it actually goes out for bid. So, but this is just a resolution to enter into being able to enter into contract with ODOT.
Okay, we want to go ahead and waive the 3 reading rule of this. Is that necessary?
The deadline is May 2nd in the contract here. So.
I'll move that we waive the 3 reading rule.
Thank you.
I'll second that.
Mr. Storm?
Ms. Least,
Yes,
Mrs. Sweet,
Yes.
Mr. Bear.
Yes.
Mr. Whitaker.
Yes.
Mr. Hannah.
Yes.
And then I'll move that we adopt emergency resolution 2025-03.
I'll second.
Okay.
Needs read into the record.
What's that?
The resolution needs read into the record before we can vote.
Okay. Emergency resolution 2025-03, Village of Enon resolution authorizing participation in the ODOT road salt contracts awarded in 2025.
Mrs. Sweet,
Yes.
Mr. Bear,
Yes.
Mr. Whitaker,
Yes.
Mr. Hannah,
Yes.
Ms. Least.
Yes,
All right, thank you. Next on the list there is the 2025 annual water rate survey. You can see that we are number 3 on the list. We are at And they base this on 22,500 gallons or 3,000 cubic feet of water in 3-month period. So we are right at $84 for 3 months. So I want to bring that to your attention.
All right.
Truck update. We got our new truck. It's pretty nice if you haven't seen it. We are going to get a kind of a back window protector on it either Thursday or Friday. Nate from the township is willing to help us install that, as well as the radio and the lights for it. So that'll save us quite a bit of money. I did get a couple quotes for installation of that, and it was almost $3,200 to install that kind of stuff. So it's great, and we're really appreciative that the township kind of helps out and kind of help each other. But Nate's going to do that for us. So. And also waiting on decals. I did call Yipe Stripes today, and he's hoping to have the decals for it by Friday. So I'll get those on soon, probably next week. So.
What do we do on, is that just the circle emblems on the side?
Yeah, and then Village of Enon underneath there. And then I've got some fire extinguisher and first aid kit decals like I did on the last one. And on the inside of the truck, I've got some no smoking signs and things like that. So. Next on there is the zoning code update. You have 3 different companies before you. One is ZoneCo. The other one is Crossroads Community Planning. And the third one is Compass Point. Now, I reached out to these early on, just discussing that basically we just need somebody to look at it, our current zoning code, and see basically what we're lacking, what could be changed, any verbiage, if anything's missing according to new standards or new laws, things like that. So the quote is just for the initial diagnostic for them to look over. So ZoneCo right now, they said they'd be in the $10,000 to $15,000 range, and it would be 30 to 45 days for them to do that. And then if we would want them to kind of do the whole package where they would make the corrections, rewrite it, and give us a final copy, their total package is $75,000, up to $75,000. Number 2, Crossroads Planning. Me and Kathleen Baber, when we went to the Montgomery County Planning Conference, we did sit in on their session. Very informative. They do, just from the short time that we were there, and then the phone calls that I had with her, do good work. So. They are listed on page number 7. Once again, this is just a diagnostic, but then they list out kind of what their whole program is and the cost of each step, okay? Their initial cost for the diagnostic is $5,000. Would take approximately 1 to 2 months to do that. If that's all we wanted, then that's all we would pay them. If we would want them to go any further, they do the public engagement. They draft up 3 drafts of the zoning code. They do zoning maps. They attend all the required public hearings, and then they'll deliver the final draft. Their total cost is $30,000. The total time frame for that is like a 9-month period, followed by a 3-month adoption process. So you're looking like almost a year to kind of get this done through them. The third one is Compass Point. They're out of Cincinnati, and I can't remember Crossroads where they're out of. Anyhow, it tells in there where they're out of. Had a lengthy conversation with Melinda from Compass Point, or Wendy from Compass Point. She was recommended by the one of the Huber Heights council people when I called them, and their budget is $135 per hour plus any travel costs not to exceed $7,000. And that, once again, is their code audit, just like all the other two, except they kind of list out, there's like 8 different points there on page number 1 of what they do. And if they would go any further after that, it would be in the range of $30,000 to $50,000. So she doesn't think it'd be as high as 50 because it's not too extensive from what we were discussing, what we think needs to be done, and so she didn't think it'd be as high as that, but that's a good range. And also then she sent along an example that she just finished, a planning and zoning code audit from the city of Newport. She said, once again, it's not going to be, ours would not be that detailed. They're going into a lot of stuff that we don't do or don't have, but she just wanted to send that along just to show you kind of what it would look like, So read through that. A lot of good information especially on Crossroads, I think. But read through them and we'll see what you think and bring up questions later. If you have any questions, let me know, and then I can get a hold of the respective people if we have any questions.
What was the name of the first one you said?
ZoneCo.
ZoneCo.
They're on the front page, Sam.
Yeah, theirs was
Oh,
just
There's
a
just a
Just
sheet.
this one.
Yeah.
Oh,
a
okay.
paragraph
There's just a
email.
sheet.
Got it, okay. Sorry, thanks.
Double.
They're out of Cincinnati as well. I can't remember where
Oh, yeah. It's just-
Crossroads is at. And then they have Crossroads, like they have their references there, the people that they've worked for, and I think same as Crosspoint.
Who was the company that we used before? Do you remember? There was somebody,
I
that?
didn't
was
we
not here
use
when
a
they did
company before, way back
Uh,
when? Was it one of these companies?
No, what's the name of the, is it Gates, or what's the name of the
I'm asking you.
one that does the ordinances for police department? And it seems like there's a collective place that does that. Cindy, I think that's what you're thinking of, maybe. I can't remember.
Yeah, I don't.
Yeah, okay.
I don't know.
Drake,
I was just wondering
or
if we-
Drake or something.
Oh, W something Drake that does some ordinances. I don't know if that's who did that, ours or not.
Yeah, that was just basically, I think they just may have looked them over, but if memory
Okay.
serves, but I don't think we ever.
They didn't do a full dive into them, they just.
No,
they
you kind of
looked
buy
over.
the product
Okay.
they have there, and it's more like I won't say a wholesale house but it was more where a generic overview, I think is what it came down to.
Okay.
So yeah, if you look through that, if you have any questions, or if you want to do a Zoom call with any of them, or have them come in, I'm sure they probably would welcome that too, so.
Do by chance any of the other two have an example like the one sent?
I don't know about ZoneCo. I mean, you can get on their website and
Okay,
see.
maybe they have one there.
yeah,
Okay, I'll do
Yeah.
that.
And same with Crossroads. I mean,
Yeah,
but
I'll
they
look
give
at
you
all.
some kind of examples in Crossroads. She did.
Okay. Yeah,
But,
I'll go on, I'll just look at all their
yeah.
websites. Okay.
So. Safety Congress is next week. I signed up all myself and the guys. We're going to take turns going. It's on the 16th and 17th in Columbus. I think it'd be I've went for the past many years, and it's pretty informative. So I thought I would get the guys involved in it, and so we'll have maybe a couple go on Wednesday, and a couple go on Thursday. So just want to let you know on that.
It's good to keep them active in training too. Keep
Let's see here. You have your updated list of the committees corrected and updated. The BZA or the variance rulings, it was last asked last meeting to get the past 2 years. We went ahead and just went clear back to 1989 to 2024. And that gives you kind of a breakdown of what all came before the BZA board. I kind of went through, there was 51 total setbacks requests. 8 of those were signed setbacks, 7 were approved, 1 was denied. There was 43 setbacks, deals with porches, accessory buildings, a couple house setbacks. 2 were denied, 41 were approved. 10 building height variance requests, 9 approved, 1 denied. And then 4 fence height variance, and those were all approved. So that just kind of gives you an idea of what was requested during those years. And I think that's all I have.
The fireworks, is that under you?
That's the first time I've seen that, so I don't
Okay.
know. I think the mayor was gonna bring something
Okay,
up.
let's table that until the mayor comes back. and
Yeah,
he
this
can
was,
fill us
this was
back
brought
in.
up at an earlier council meeting.
Okay.
Kind of a combo question. If we're looking at between 30 and realistically not the 75, but 30 to 50, is the budget able to float that if and when the time comes?
We don't have any appropriations for that. We would have to do an amendment to the budget, the appropriation budget this year. In terms of cash, the only place that you could take it would be from the general fund.
General fund.
Okay. Just curious.
The only place that there would be enough funds to take it from would be the general fund. I think that you could argue that that cost could be distributed a couple places.
One other comment, I think that's a zoning code look, or however you want to call it, but I think it's pretty important because we've been getting quite a few calls, once again, about chickens, and now what's coming into play is therapy, emotional relief chickens, things like that. So just be aware, we've had quite a few calls on that.
We had some of that where I worked previously, and the ADA makes very clear what's considered therapy animals anymore.
Right.
So-
That's what one of the Wendy said. Because I talked to her on the phone, as she heard about that kind of stuff. And she
Yeah.
said it's funny because the gentleman in Huber Heights called her a week ago and was asking her about therapy chickens. And she thought it was kind of funny that I brought it up. But it's we've had some calls. So
Well, we
just,
got to do it because you can't, without getting on a tangent here, we cannot keep assuming that our residential are covered by the agri rules.
okay,
So,
thank you.
any questions for Mr. Seifert?
There was something in our package about the
Oh.
meter pits.
Yes, we continue to have plumbers and people get into the meter pits without us knowing. So we came up with that letter that as we hear about this, we'll get a hold of the plumbers or whoever's doing it and just give them that first friendly reminder, So,
Okay.
first and only friendly reminder.
I can go on your grass card.
Yeah.
Thanks, Kevin. Lieutenant Wise.
Thank you, Mr. Hannah, council. To start off the month of March statistics, we had 51 dispatches, 10 citations, 70 traffic stops, 5 assists with the EMS and fire, 8 assists with the sheriff's office, and then 2 other assists, which would be most likely would be officers assisting other officers here in Enon. We had 6 arrests, so we had 152 total stats for the month. We did have a donation made for Shop with a Cop. Resident wrote us a check for $50, which we've deposited, got the receipt for, and drafted a letter to thank them for their donation, which will be sent out. The flock cameras, I'm waiting to hear back from the schools. to get permission to put the cameras on their property. Other than that, that's all we need to get it all started, and then they'll make arrangements to have the cameras installed. Once they're all installed, then that'll start our 60-day trial, which will actually be a 50-day trial because they want a 10-day notification if we decide to cancel it. But if they do cancel it, it's in the contract that we pay nothing. There's no fees for them coming in and removing the cameras. So we're working with that. On April the 26th, we start out the day at 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. here with the drug take back. And then from 3 p.m. to 6 p.m., we're at Enon Park for the Touch a Truck event that we're doing. I've reached out to several of the area departments. The water company across the street's bringing a truck. Christy was going to reach out to the military, her contacts with the military, to see what we can get from them. I do know the sheriff's office is bringing their SWAT vehicles down, so kids always like to see those. I had, you asked me about the old car. So I took the unmarked car to Townsend Ford to do some factory recalls on it. Had them look at why it was shaking every time it tried to shift. They sent me back saying it needs a new transmission and new engine mounts, which is going to be about $10,000.
Were the engine mounts on a recall?
No,
Okay.
no. So it was $8,500 for the transmission and $332 for the engine mounts to be put on.
The vehicle's
Ours,
probably worth what?
10 years old.
Was it worth that?
Huh?
Was it worth that?
That's, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's, I guess from talking to the officers that the transmission has been shaky for quite a while, which is why they took the markings off of it and took it out of as a patrol vehicle. But I don't know that for a fact.
I know when we first got the cars, they had a little maintenance issue with the durability, but like everyone else, council is generally our opinion that we probably would not want to put that money into it and look towards something else. Yeah.
Yeah.
I just
Surplus
need
it
to,
and
I
bring it
just
back
need to
in, we
call them
surplus
back
it out.
tomorrow to
Yeah.
find out. To let them know that we're not going to do it, and then to get the total invoice for what they're charging us for doing the diagnostics on it.
Yeah.
Put it out on gov deals.
Yep.
Get rid of it.
You want
Yeah.
pictures of it?
She'll come and take them. She was here today, so.
So tomorrow I will be in Columbus all day with CIT crisis intervention training. And then next week, Officer Hupp is going to Marietta, Ohio for 2 days for a drug interdiction class. So
It'd be nice to give those guys some, just like Kevin's guys, get them out training, get them some fresh air, get them,
yep,
just give them a little break away from here too.
What class is that?
it's a drug interdiction class, traffic stops, what to look for concealing drugs and weapons in cars, and
And that's next week, did you say?
it is the 6th. Let's see where we're at here. It's the 16th and 15th and 16th. So yes,
In Marietta. Okay.
yep. So we're going to put him up in a hotel because the class starts at 8 o'clock in the morning. So we're gonna put him in a hotel for Monday night, Tuesday night, and then he'll come home Wednesday after the class.
Now, in this situation, he's going to take a company car or,
I'm gonna
Mike-
talk to him about it
okay.
to see what, I mean, because if we,
if we don't, we pay mileage, I think.
yes,
it'd be
and
worth-
it's quite a bit of mileage to it. And I think it's, last I seen it was like 45 cents a mile, is that Up.
Up.
Oh, it's more than that.
62,
Right,
Yeah,
60
this
something.
year.
Sixties.
So
54 a couple
we're
years
looking at
ago.
probably
54 a couple years ago.
Yeah, it's in the 60s.
$500 for mileage. So I think it'd be worth sending him in a cruiser so we don't have to pay that.
And a full tank of gas.
Well, as long as he's willing to and has got a vehicle that's not gonna get him there, so.
Vehicle 301, which is the new Durango, we're gonna have to get a tire on it. There's a screw in it. I gotta figure out where the screw's at to whether they can plug it or whether it just we need to replace the tire. Normally when you replace one, they want you to replace two
At
of
least
them.
two, yeah.
But with all-wheel drive, they want you to replace all four. So I'm hoping that it's someplace
Can be
in the middle
plugged.
where we can plug it.
And we got the battery taken care of off that, correct?
Yes, that was the one that had the battery issues, and it's been taken care of.
That's the one we had to take the cage out
Yep.
and the seat.
Yes, batteries are underneath the seat. Yeah, it's a pain.
Blows my mind.
Don't get
What could go wrong?
I think that's everything.
I have a question about him taking a car over there. The area that he will be staying in is safe enough to leave.
It's at
And
a
Martin
university. It's at Marietta University over there. I'm assuming it is, but
Okay.
things can happen no matter where you park
Sure.
it. I just think, like I say, with the mileage being, I didn't realize it was that much per mile.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
You're
It
looking
definitely
at
is.
probably $300 to $400 for mileage.
Yeah.
So
I'll talk to Chief Kitzmiller at the base,
okay,
and then our EOD flight. I'll talk to their chief. They both fall under civil engineering, so I'll talk to them, see if they have any interest in bringing vehicles.
I'd love to have their EOD stuff out here.
We'll see what they have going on.
Yeah, last time we had UPS truck, we had a concrete truck from, I think, from Ernst, or Piqua, whoever it was at that point. But, trying to think who else we had up there.
Trying to figure out how we're gonna put everybody. We're gonna have them down the main driveway, and then circle around. Hopefully, it dries out enough where we can back some into the grass, edge of the grass. But
Okay, yeah.
obviously, we're not backing big trucks into the grass. If it's
Kids
like
love
it
the
is
cement
today.
truck. You're gonna be able to go crawl up on the top of
Yeah.
it. But Jeff, recommendation during our touch a truck, you were talking about the kids in the coats. Maybe asking Ms. Perks or somebody if they might be able to come up with a donation box that would have a signage on that.
All for
Say it's for
coats.
Shop with a Cop, and see if it might be some collection money there while you've got everybody centralized. Just a thought.
I would like to, I know that we can't do a whole lot of campaigning for the levy, but if somebody could get me exactly what it's going to be so I can go talk to people, and if they have questions, I can answer them and not say, I'm not sure.
We need some door knockers or something like that.
Yeah, I
Well,
think we have to come
so-
up with a page with the literature
So
all
w-
about it anyway, so.
Well, we were talking about that, and if you, what was it? If you spend any money on it, you have to have the committee and all,
yeah.
and all that. So they didn't know whether they wanted to do that for this time or.
That would be us as the governmental entity off of that.
Yeah.
So if a public person would donate that,
It's kind of sticky.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't
There
think
have been
any
a lot of things like
donations.
you can't. School boards get into a lot of trouble
Yeah.
when you have elected officials doing it with any resources that are public, and if you have any public employees doing any of it while they're on the clock, that's troublesome too.
true.
So, just to cover yourself, it's best to have a campaign committee, and don't run any of the money or any of the resources through the actual entity.
I think
I will
that's a
happily
question
give
always
you-
comes up every time that we
I'll
do
happily
our.
give you the file
Okay.
that shows everything that we submitted to the Board of Elections that talks about rate and collection and term and the ballot language that we.
I just, because like I say, I have no problem coming out on the weekend and walking door to door, talking to people. I just need to be,
Have the facts.
But we-
Educated,
Yeah,
yeah.
but we do need to have some type of door knocker or something just to give people information about it, so to defeat some of the
Yeah.
social media stuff.
We just can't use the village's Facebook page to do that.
Okay.
The flock cameras
Uh-huh.
that you talked about, did they provide you with a new contract? I know we talked
Yes.
last. Okay.
they sent out a new contract that basically had highlighted on there that this is a 60-day trial. If at the end of that 60-day trial, the Village of Enon decides that they cannot maintain the cameras, then they will remove the cameras at no cost to the village.
Okay.
Any other questions for Lieutenant Wise?
Where are you just putting these to let the public know?
We're putting them up. I'm gonna get one up to the library. I'm gonna put one up at the post office. I'm gonna take one down to Drug Mart and IGA and the Senior Citizen Center. Stop all those and see if they'll put them up for us.
I think if you send it to the school, they'll send it out on their. They have like an email system that
Like the one call system.
Yeah.
they'll send it out to every parent, or they may even print them and give them to the kids to take home.
Okay.
So I'll
I'll
definitely
stop down and talk to
stop-
school
yeah.
tomorrow.
That's
Or
what
Thursday,
Van-
because I won't be
I think
here
that's
tomorrow.
what Vanna Beekman does,
Yeah.
stuff like that.
You had mentioned on April 26th from the same days as from 10 to 2, you have a drug take back?
Yeah, 10 to 2 is the National Drug Take Back Day. So we'll be here at the setting up in front of the government center so we can take pills back, and then we will weigh them. And then the following Monday morning, I'm getting with the sheriff's office property, and we're going to take them because we have to take them to Cincinnati to have them disposed of.
Is that where we took the last ones?
Last ones are still in the property room.
Okay.
Well, let's add those to this, okay?
I've got to reach out to them and find out, make sure that I can do that.
Okay.
But I don't think it'll be a problem.
Okay,
Thanks,
all
Jeff.
right. Thank you.
All righty. We have any committee reports this evening? Don't believe so. A reminder, public service, or public safety will meet on, I got it right this time, April 15th at 6 o'clock.
So I don't know about the, we had the resident in here. I don't know if it was the last meeting, maybe the meeting before, about the chickens.
Yeah.
I kind of talked about, we probably needed to look at having a committee meeting just to look at ordinances that are continually coming up before,
Yes.
Having to go through a year-long process of getting things changed. We can change single ordinances on our own.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that would fall under public service or legislative, but we should probably get one of those on the books.
Legislative, was it?
I think it was legislative,
That's what
yeah.
we thought it might be, yeah.
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 Yeah, we, that'd be a
doesn't
good
matter.
idea,
I'm
Jeremy. At
here
least we
for
could
either
address
one.
that in particular and.
It's Brenda, it
and
doesn't matter where it
public
falls,
Brenda, yeah.
both of them's her.
Pick a date.
I'm not on it
Mine not on
I
it.
know.
if it falls under legislative, but I'll come to it.
You're on the public service, but Ben and Cindy are on the legislative.
I just think we probably need to get the ball rolling in
Yes.
some fashion.
That's probably true.
Yes, so we talked about that. We do need to do that.
Okay. We have some old business this evening with the sealed bids.
Sealed bids, yes, for the lot that was for sale at 6553 through 6561 Dayton Springfield Road. We had 7 packets taken, 3 bids returned. So we'll get those opened and, you want to do that? Yeah.
I think I'm supposed to.
Okay, great, I'll let you. The small one on top first, that's how we received it. There you
I
go.
can fold them for you.
Don't put a paper.
That envelope is in there.
They were all timely. They were all timely. First bid, Mr. Tyler Collins of 6661 Dayton Springfield Road, Enon, Ohio. Bid of $5,000. Bid number 2, Michael Accord, 4525 Broadway Road. Bid of $18,201. Sherry Grooms, 6021 Dayton Springfield Road. Bid of $20,100.
And at this point, Kevin, what's our options? Or Rob?
You can reject any or all, if that's not what the village was looking to get, so.
Would that doesn't need to be held in executive session, or is that basically an open topic?
It's open.
Okay.
Does it have to be decided on now, or can it be tabled?
No, it can be table.
Why don't we table it till the next meeting, and in the meantime, see what our options are. Okay, I'll take care of that. We have no executive session this evening. It's time for comments from the public. Mr. Wazak.
Chuck Wazak, Village of Enon resident. Two things. Following up on a communication that I sent to the Streets and Sidewalks Committee, as well as the Township Commissioners on poison hemlock. Whenever they did the Enon Xenia project, they brought in poison hemlock, and it's on both sides of the road. All of the houses that had backfill, and we're not just talking about the berm between the road and the sidewalk, but from where the sidewalk was repaired to the into the property. The one in particular, there's a couple of them that are really bad, but the one right on the corner of Green Vista and Enon Xenia is really bad. I mean, it's getting tall. So it's a noxious weed. It's just like poison ivy. So I wrote that communication to that's the second communication I've sent to say, hey, is this something we need to notify the people of, or get the county in here to take care of that, because they brought it in, it was their problem. But I'm telling the full council that we've got an issue. If you walk either side of the street and you know what poison hemlock is, we got it. And it's going to start blooming and spreading. It gets tall too.
Kevin, do we have any options on off the punch out off of that after the contractors leave, as far as
I'd
cleaning?
have to get with Paul DeButy and see what his thoughts are
Okay.
on.
If you guys can get
Well,
together.
I'm just informing you, I don't care what you do with it after this.
Okay.
Number two, the chicken thing. As an interim, what I would suggest, and maybe going forward long term, 300-foot rule. In other words, establish a 300-foot rule that the person wanting chickens would have to get the written agreement of neighbors within a proximity of 300 feet. Okay? Renewable annually. Okay? So I think what that would do is that would give us the opportunity to say, yeah, there's a process. We've changed the process. Here's a process. You've got to get the agreement of your neighbors around you. If they've got no problem, cool. You can go ahead and do it with limitations on numbers or whatever you want to put in it. And oh, by the way, you have to do that annually. So what that does is it gives everybody a fair shake, in my estimation, that people can have chickens, but it's not going to be a permanent kind of thing. And as long as the neighbors don't complain, then you annually renew it. We're cool with it. So that's just a thought. 300-foot rule, written notification, written agreement of the neighbors, annually renewable.
Okay, appreciate
Thank you.
it.
You
Thank you. Good idea. Anyone else? Any other comments?
Thanks, Chuck.
Before we adjourn, there is one other thing I forgot to bring up. Last week we had a traffic accident where a vehicle struck the village garage So the report will be done on that, and that's all being taken care of.
Very much damage.
Not really.
No.
Door,
Door's the
frame.
main thing.
Yeah.
Just a walk-in door.
Nobody was hurt.
Yeah.
We weren't involved in that chase last night, were we?
Don't know whether he was involved, but we were there.
Okay.
So I don't know. I haven't had a chance to talk to him, find out what his participation was in it. But he was there on the news.
Okay. Thank you.
It seemed. So
I'd entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed?
6:47.
Thanks, everybody.
You'd like me to make that motion for some reason.